Ladies and gentlemen, let's be real. Relationships are beautiful, but they can also be tricky. And when it comes to cheating, there are always signs. You just have to recognize them. Some folks say all men cheat. No, they don't. But some do. And if you see certain behaviors, well, this means a man will cheat. If a man suddenly stops talking, stops sharing, and seems emotionally checked out, pay attention. A man who isn't emotionally invested in you anymore might already be investing in someone else. If he used to tell you about his day, his dreams, his problems, and now all you get is one-word answers, something has shifted. If you ask, how was your day? And all he says is, fine. But before he used to tell you everything that happened, that's a red flag. When a man is faithful and committed, he wants to connect with you. He wants to share. If he no longer cares to do that, it means his attention is somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying every quiet man is cheating. Some men are just naturally reserved. But if he was open before and suddenly shuts down, that's a problem. Pay attention to the energy in the room. If you feel like you're pulling teeth just to have a conversation, that's not normal. When a man truly loves you, he wants to hear your voice. He wants to talk to you. When that stops, something is wrong. And here's another thing. When a man is losing interest, he doesn't just stop talking, he stops listening. You could be telling him about your day, your feelings, your worries, and he's just nodding along, barely paying attention. He might even pretend to be listening, but deep down, he's checked out. And if his mind is somewhere else, his heart might be too. Sometimes women ignore this sign because they don't want to believe it's happening. But ignoring the truth doesn't change it. If you used to laugh together, have deep talks, and now it feels like you're just roommates, don't brush it off. That's the moment to ask yourself, why has he changed? If a man suddenly has nothing to say to you, but he's smiling at his phone, texting nonstop, staying late at work, or hanging out with the boys more often, something ain't right. A man in love makes time. A man who is loyal prioritizes you. But if you've become just another person in his life instead of his partner, you need to pay attention. Listen, a man will always show you what's important to him. If he used to call you on his lunch break, but now you don't even get a text, that's not just him being busy. That's a shift in priorities. If he used to make an effort to ask about your day, but now he just shrugs and turns on the TV, that's a change in connection. The moment communication starts to fade, trust me, something is happening. Now, let's talk about his phone. If a man starts sleeping with his phone like it's his second wife, that's a problem. If he used to leave it anywhere, but now it's locked down with face recognition, a fingerprint, and a retina scan, something ain't right. Secrecy breeds suspicion. A faithful man has nothing to hide. But a man who is sneaky, oh, he will guard that phone like it holds the nuclear codes. I'm telling you, if he used to text in front of you but now turns his phone away, ask yourself why. If he suddenly has privacy issues when before he didn't care, that's a red flag. And don't let him gaslight you either. If you ask why he's acting different and he says you're crazy or you're just insecure, that's a classic deflection. Because here's the truth. When you're in a real relationship, transparency isn't a problem. A man who's loyal doesn't mind showing you his phone. He doesn't panic when it rings. He doesn't flip it over every time you walk into the room. And what about his routine? A man is a creature of habit. If he always came home at 6, but now it's 9, 10, or later without a valid reason. Ladies, that's a red flag. Unexplained changes in behavior mean something is happening. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes life gets busy, work gets demanding. But if his routine changes overnight with no explanation, that's something to question. Look at his excuses. If they don't make sense, trust your gut. If he used to have weekends free, but now he's always busy, that's not an accident. If he used to come home right after work, but now he's stuck in meetings every night, something ain't adding up. And the biggest sign, if he gets defensive when you ask, if a man is truly innocent, he'll reassure you. But if he's guilty, he'll flip it on you and say you're the problem. That's when you know something is off. Now, let's talk about effort. A man who loves you wants to make you happy. If he stops caring about your feelings, your needs, and your happiness, it could be because he's entertaining someone else. When the effort disappears, It's time to have a serious conversation. A man who is in love will put in the effort. He will plan dates, show affection, do little things to make you smile. But if he stops, if he no longer cares whether you're happy or not, ask yourself why. Did something change? Or did someone come into the picture? And here's the thing, women feel it. You don't need proof to know something is wrong. Your spirit will tell you. Your intuition will whisper it. You'll sense the distance, the shift in energy, the lack of effort. When a man truly values you, he makes an effort. But when he's halfway out the door, you'll feel it. And listen, I ain't saying every man who does these things is cheating, but if you see a combination of these signs, don't ignore them. The most important thing is knowing your worth. If you ever feel unappreciated or disrespected, don't beg for love. Either fix it or find someone who values you. Because a good man won't cheat. Relationships require trust, and nothing breaks trust faster than secret. One of the biggest signs that a man might be cheating is how he treats his phone. Now, I know we live in a digital world. Everybody has a phone, everybody texts, everybody's on social media. But here's the thing, when a man starts acting shady with his phone, that's not just a coincidence. That's a red flag waving right in front of you. If a man is faithful, he has nothing to hide. His phone is just a phone. He might leave it on the kitchen counter, on the nightstand, even hand it to you to play music or look something up. He's not worried about who's texting him because there's nothing to worry about. But if he's up to something, that phone becomes the most protected thing in his life. Let's break it down. If your man suddenly starts treating his phone like it's top secret, like it contains classified government files, you need to pay attention. If he used to leave it face up, unlocked, in plain sight, but now it's always face down, locked up, and out of reach, that's not just him being cautious, that's him hiding something. And let's talk about passwords. A faithful man doesn't need to lock his phone like Fort Knox. Now, I'm not saying he has to give you his passcode. Everybody deserves some privacy. But if he changes it suddenly and won't tell you why, if he used to let you use his phone, but now he snatches it away the second you reach for it, that's not a privacy issue, that's a guilt issue. Here's another sign. He panics when his phone rings. A man who is loyal doesn't flinch when his phone vibrates. He doesn't rush to silence a call or hide his screen. But a man who's hiding something, oh, you'll see the change. His phone rings and suddenly he's fumbling, rushing to turn it over, getting nervous. He might even let it ring and pretend he didn't hear it. But you saw the name flash across the screen, didn't you? And if you ask him who it was, and he gets defensive, oh, now you know something's up. And let's not forget the classic move, walking away to take off. If he always used to talk freely around you, but now he has to step outside, go to the bathroom, or lower his voice every time his phone rings, ask yourself why. Who is he talking to that he doesn't want you to hear? A man who has nothing to hide will take a call right in front of you. But a man who's creeping, oh, he'll suddenly have bad signal in the house and need to go outside to talk. Now, let's talk about texting behavior. If your man suddenly becomes a texting ninja, typing fast, deleting messages right after he reads them, or laughing at his phone but won't tell you why, that's a problem. If he used to text in front of you but now tilts his phone away, ask yourself why. If you used to glance over and see normal conversations, but now every time you look, the screen is blank because he's cleared the messages, that's not just a coincidence. And ladies, let's not forget about the do not disturb trick. A man who's up to no good will put his phone on silent, turn off notifications, or even set it to do not disturb mode when he's around you. That way, you don't hear the text coming in, you don't see the calls, and he doesn't have to explain anything. That's not just being considerate, that's being sneaky. And let me tell you something else. Watch his reaction when you touch his phone. If your man used to be fine with you using his phone to check the weather, look up a recipe, or even take a picture, but now he gets jumpy the moment you pick it up, something ain't right. If he snatches it out of your hand, accuses you of being nosy, or suddenly has a problem with you holding his phone, trust me, that's a sign. A man who has nothing to hide isn't worried about his woman touching his phone. Now, let's talk about excuses. A cheating man always has excuses. If you ask him why he's acting different with his phone and he says, oh, I just like my privacy now, or I just don't want you snooping. That's not a real answer, that's a deflection. Privacy is one thing, but secrecy is another. A man who respects you will be honest. A man who's cheating will try to make you feel like the problem for even asking. And don't let him gaslight you either. Some men, when they're caught slipping, will turn it around on you. Why don't you trust me? Why are you always looking for something? No, no, no. A loyal man reassures you. A guilty man attacks you for questioning him. That's a manipulation tactic. Don't fall for it. And one last thing, pay attention to his social media. If he used to post you, tag you, or show off your relationship, but now his page looks like he's single, something's off. If he suddenly starts guarding his DMs like they contain national secrets, that's a problem. And if you notice new female followers, flirty comments, or a sudden obsession with liking random women's pictures, that's a red flag. Look, I'm not saying every man who protects his phone is cheating. Some people are just private. But if his behavior around his phone changes suddenly, if he starts hiding it, locking it, flipping it over, walking away to take calls, or acting nervous when you touch it, you need to pay attention. Because when a man is loyal, he's not worried about his woman seeing his phone. But when he's doing something he shouldn't be, oh, trust me, that phone will tell the truth. So ladies, don't ignore the signs. A man's phone will always reveal his priorities. If he starts guarding it like his life depends on it, ask yourself what he's trying to hide. Because a man who loves you won't make you feel like you have to play detective. A man who's truly committed will give you peace of mind, not reasons to doubt him. We are creatures of habit. We love routine. We find something that works and we stick to it. A man with nothing to hide is predictable. He wakes up at the same time, goes to work at the same time, comes home at the same time, eats at the same time, and watches the same shows on the same couch every night. You can set your watch to a good man's routine, but when a man starts cheating, oh, his routine changes. Suddenly, he's got all kinds of unexpected plans, late meetings, and surprise errands. He's running around like he's on some secret mission, and you're standing there wondering what's going on. Pay attention, because when a man's routine changes without a solid reason, that's a red flag. Now let's break this down. Let's say your man always comes home at 6 p.m. like clockwork. For years, you could count on him walking through that door at the same time every day. But now, all of a sudden, he's staying late at work. He's working overtime, but somehow there's no extra money on that paycheck. He's grabbing drinks with coworkers, but you never hear about these coworkers before or after these outings. He's stuck in traffic, but the traffic app says the roads are clear. Baby, you've got to ask yourself, what's really going on? And here's the kicker. When you start asking questions, he gets defensive. You ask, why are you home late? And instead of answering, he flips it on you. Why are you always checking up on me? Now hold on. When a man is faithful, he has no problem explaining himself. But when a man is guilty, oh, now you're the problem. Now you're being insecure. But let me tell you something. Your instincts ain't wrong. Let's talk about weekends. If your man used to spend Sundays with you, watching movies, relaxing, maybe going out for brunch, but now he's always busy, that's another red flag. If he suddenly got all these errands, helping a friend, or needs some space, but he won't tell you exactly what he's doing, baby, that ain't just a schedule change. That's a priority change. And what about his phone habits? If he used to be reachable all day, but now, when you call, it goes straight to voicemail, or he takes hours to respond to a simple text, something's off. If he used to text you every morning with a good morning, baby, and now you don't hear from him until the afternoon, something has changed. A man who's being faithful doesn't suddenly forget how to communicate. And let's talk about nights out. Every man needs time with his friends. That's normal. But if your man suddenly starts going out way more than usual, staying out later than before, and barely giving you details, that's a shift. If he used to hang with the boys once a week, but now he's out every other night, something is different. If he's suddenly dressing nicer, spraying on extra cologne, and putting more effort into his appearance, but not for you, girl, who is he trying to impress? And here's a big one, business trips. If your man never traveled for work before, but now he's always on the road, that's something to look at. If he's packing extra nice clothes, keeping his phone locked down, and coming back home acting distant, you need to ask some real questions. If a business trip suddenly turns into a personal vacation, baby, that's a red flag. Now, let's say you bring this up. You ask, why has your schedule changed so much? And he says, you're overthinking it. I'm just busy. Oh, no, sis, that's not an answer. That's a brush off. A man who respects you will reassure you, not make you feel like you're crazy for noticing his behavior. And let's talk about energy. When a man starts cheating, it's not just about his schedule. It's about how he moves, how he acts. If he used to come home and be happy to see you, but now he walks in looking drained, irritated, or distant, that's not a coincidence. If he used to cuddle with you, but now he sits on the other side of the couch, barely touching you, that's a shift. If he used to kiss you goodbye every morning, but now he just grabs his keys and leaves, something has changed. And here's the hardest part. Sometimes it's not just what he does, it's what he stops doing. If he stops planning dates, stops complimenting you, stops putting in effort, you've got to ask yourself why. Love doesn't just fade on its own. If he's not giving you the attention he used to, he might be giving it to someone else. Now, let me be clear. Not every schedule change means a man is cheating. Sometimes work really does get busy. Sometimes stress really does make a man act different. But here's the difference. An honest man will communicate. He will tell you, baby, I'm working late, but I'll make it up to you this weekend. He will check in. He will keep you in the loop. But a man who is cheating, oh, he'll keep you guessing. He'll make you feel like you're the problem. He'll avoid answering questions. He'll create distance. So ladies, don't ignore the sign. When a man's routine shifts suddenly, when he stops making time for you, when he starts moving differently without an explanation, pay attention. Because a man in love keeps his habits, but a man who's got something to hide, he'll change them overnight. And trust me, a woman's intuition is never wrong. When a man loves you, he shows it. It's not just in what he says, it's in what he does. A man who is committed to you puts in the effort. He makes time for you. He listens to you. He makes sure you feel valued. But when that effort disappears, when he stops trying, when he acts like he doesn't care anymore, that's a red flag. That's when you have to ask yourself, is he still invested in this relationship? Because a man who stops trying isn't just tired. He might already have one foot out the door. Let's break this down. Think about how he treated you at the beginning of the relationship. In the beginning, he was calling, texting, planning dates, making sure you were happy. He was putting in effort because he wanted to. When a man wants a woman, he will move mountains to be with her. He will take you out, surprise you, do little things to make you smile. He will check in on you, ask how your day was, hold your hand in public, remind you how beautiful you are. But now, he barely notices when you walk into the room. You get dressed up, looking good, feeling good, and he doesn't even look up from his phone. You try to have a conversation, and all you get are one-word answers. You suggest a date night, and suddenly he's too tired or too busy. Now, I'm not saying every man who gets comfortable in a relationship is cheating. But if the man who once couldn't get enough of you now acts like he couldn't care less, something's wrong. See, when a man is truly in love, he wants to make you happy. He puts in effort, not because he has to, but because he wants to. But when that effort disappears, when he stops complimenting you, when he stops holding your hand, when he stops making time for you, you need to ask yourself why. Because love doesn't just fade like that. And here's the thing. If he's not giving you attention, affection, and effort, but you notice him putting that energy elsewhere, that's a big problem. If he suddenly has all this energy to go out, hang with his boys, spend hours on his phone, but when it comes to you, he's too tired. Baby, that's not just a phase, that's a shift. Let's talk about affection. If your man used to be all over you, hugging you, kissing you, holding your hand, and now he barely touches you, that's not just a mood change. That's a sign of disconnection. The man who loves you wants to be close to you. He wants to touch you, hold you, make you feel special. But if that physical connection disappears, you need to pay attention. And let's talk about compliments. A man who is in love notices his woman. He sees the little things. He tells you how beautiful you look, how much he appreciates you. But if he used to compliment you and now he doesn't even notice when you do something different, that's a problem. And here's the big one: quality time. A man who is invested in you makes time for you. No matter how busy he is, no matter what's going on, he will find time to be with you. But if he used to take you on dates, used to call just to check in, used to spend time with you on the weekends, and now he's too busy, that's not just work stress. That's a change in priorities. And here's the truth: if he's not putting in effort with you, he's putting that effort somewhere else. Maybe it's with someone new. Maybe it's just emotional detachment. But either way, a man who is truly in love doesn't stop showing effort overnight. And let's talk about the way he reacts when you bring this up, because this is key. A man who is just going through a rough time, a stressful period at work, he will reassure you. He will say, "Baby, I know I've been distant, but I love you. I'll do better." He will try. But a man who's already checked out, he won't even argue with you about it. He'll just shrug. He'll say you're overreacting. He'll make you feel like you're the problem. Let me tell you something: love requires effort. If your man is no longer making an effort, if he doesn't care whether you're happy or not, if he stopped trying to make you feel special, then you have two options: fix it or move on. Because here's the truth: a man who truly loves you won't let you sit there wondering if he still cares. A real man shows you every single day that you are a priority, that you are valued, that you are loved. So don't settle for less. If he's not trying, if he's not putting in effort, don't beg for his attention. Don't lower your standards. Don't try to prove your worth to him. A good man will see your worth from the beginning. A good man will keep putting in effort because he wants to. And if he doesn't, if he stops caring, if he acts like he doesn't see you anymore, then baby, it's time to see yourself and it's time to walk away, because you deserve more than a man who just stops trying. You deserve more than a man who treats you like an afterthought. So don't settle. Don't wait for him to realize what he has, because the right man will never make you question whether or not you are loved.